Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Siffco and I'm going to be talking about Dragon Ball Daima. Kamehameha! So the episode starts with flashbacks and fights and things that happen through Dragon Ball Z and the Buu Saga, and we see them in a video kind of form being watched by two characters, which are Goma and Degesu, which turns out to be one of the Supreme Kai's, Shin's brother. So they're watching this a la like Minority Report, analyzing things, figuring out that Dabura, who is the king of the demon world, which they are at right now, dies, and so that makes Goma the new reign king of the demon world. And they also realize that, hey, we can't celebrate too much because Buu is an issue, and we can't really do anything if Buu's still around. But they find out that Goku and his friends defeat Buu, and so they're free. But that still leaves the issue of Goku and his friends being strong and being able to invade the demon world. But throughout that process, they realize that Earth has Dragon Balls. They see Goku and his friends making wishes, and so they're like, hey, we gotta go do that because we have Dragon Balls here in the demon world, but they're being protected by these powerful beings, and so we can't use them. So why don't we go to Earth and take their Dragon Balls and use wishes? And so they devise a plan on how to do that. They get their wishes together. They want to make Goku into little children because the Dragon Balls and the dragon can't outright destroy someone, can't outright just one-off a character that you don't like. So they want to turn Goku into a little kid, into a harmless little child, which has happened before in Dragon Ball GT. So it's a bit reused, but the thing that is different this time is that there's this new setting and new lore and cast of characters that make it really interesting. Goma is in the demon world, and we find out that now the king, and we find out that the Supreme Kai has a brother and a sister, and so what are they doing in the demon world? What happened to them? And why was their brother able to be some deity? But also there's a old Namekian, and we find out that all the Namekians are from the demon world. So what does that mean with the old Namekian? So he turns out to be the creator of the Dragon Balls. And he is able to, but they don't really say that in the beginning. They kind of hint to it. The beings that guard the Dragon Balls in the demon world kind of acknowledge him as a boss or something because this old Namekian Neva walks up to them and says, hey, good job. And they kind of bow their head. They kind of acknowledge him. But as a viewer, we don't really know that this is the creator of the Dragon Balls. So Goma and Degesu get their plan in order. They want to make Goku into a little kid and all of his friends as well. And they also want to make a wish to obtain an artifact that used to be in the demon world that's very powerful, and that will make that person who wields it very powerful. It's kind of vague. We really don't know what it's going to do, but it's not a good thing. And there's also a third wish that Degesu kind of alludes to for, hey, I've been kissing your butt for a long time, and I'd like a wish too. So we don't know what kind of wish he's going to make. We don't know if he's going to make it or if Goma is going to make it anyways. So they make their way to Kami's lookout, and Dende is there with Mr. Popo, and they're pretty surprised to see these random people show up in Kami's lookout. And this doesn't turn out to be a long process. It's kind of like a quick little back and forth. They bring Neva, who is the old Namek ogre, a part of this plan because he has immense knowledge. Even though they call him senile, he has immense knowledge of the Dragon Balls, but also they promised him 1,000 years of extended life if he were to help him out. So there's a quick conversation with Dende. Then they ask Neva to get the Dragon Balls. He literally just calls them all to him. Usually you have to get the Dragon Radar to get them really fast. That's how they're able to do wishes in the Dragon Ball, because Bulma created a Dragon Radar to get them real fast. And so, but Neva is able to just will them all to him. He collects them all, but there's also a 1-year incubation period that has to happen before you're able to reuse the Dragon Balls. So it's a nice limitation to prevent the constant reuse of Dragon Balls. But however, Neva is able to eliminate that incubation period and use them instantly. So that's pretty OP in the Dragon Ball universe. Now, as I said earlier, Goma and Degesu were watching these events happen previously to what's going on now. And so they're able to find out the password of how to summon the dragon and use the Dragon Balls, which Dende doesn't know. And so he assumes like, hey, I'm not going to give you the password no matter what you do. But Degesu wrote it down on his notepad and summons the dragon. But before he does, Dende jumps in mid-sentence to stop them. And for a while there, I was like, dude, are you going to do anything? Can you at least, like, telepathically call Goku, call Piccolo, and say, hey, you know what? Be here right now. I need you. There's random people trying to, wish the dragon, please, come now. Instead, it's kind of like, this is going to happen. There's nothing you're going to do. But they did kind of address that and have Dende jump in mid-sentence. However, he's not very strong. He gets hit back and knocked out. And they're able to do their wishes. And their first wish is to make Goku and friends, all the Z Fighters, into little kids. And this is where it gets funny. Part of the charm of Dragon Ball. The dragon asks, like, hey, how old do I make these guys? And they say, like 1 year old, which is like 5 to 6 years old here in America. And then he says, well, what do we do about the kids that are already kids, which is like Trunks and Goten? And he says, well, I don't know, make them babies. And that defeats the arc of like Goten or Trunks being a hero arc right here, or even Gotenks and them fusing together. So that's a real shame. But I'm not complaining because I like Vegeta, and so we get to see Vegeta and Goku as the heroes. So then boom, it cuts to the Z Fighters, and they're having a party for Trunks, and he's turning 9 years old, and of course they eat, they get their fill, and Goku and Vegeta, they go off and train, and as they're training, there starts to be this transformation going on after the wishes are granted, and they're transforming and morphing into kids, and it's looking really funny, and then boom, it cuts out. We don't get to see them as kids at all. There's no reveal. So hopefully this next episode, it won't be dragged on. We just get to see it, because Vegeta and Bulma as kids is going to be hilarious. It's going to be so funny. And so I'm all for it. I did enjoy this episode, although the flashbacks and the reused GT turning someone into a kid is kind of a bit redundant. But what makes it different this time is the Demon World and Neva, which is the old Namek, and the Nameks being from the Demon World just adds a lot to the lore and just keeps me interested. And so I'm really excited to see what the next episode is going to be like. I hope they're animated just as well and they're just all amazing. But yeah, that's Dragon Ball Z Daima. And thanks so much for being here. This is like my first time doing one of those. I'm actually feeling pretty anxious just talking about it, because I just hope I'm making sense and I hope it's entertaining or interesting to you at all. So thanks so much for being here. If you like Dragon Ball, if you like Vegeta, let me know in the comments. Give it a like. But until then, I will see you next time. Thanks for being here. We out.